It's market week, and I'm like so behind right now. I had to finish making a whole bunch of bags, which most of them I've painted on. I had to finish cutting out some more of these and writing in them. Okay, I don't have to cut them out. I just have to finish writing. I have to finish my thank you cards, and I need to finish stamping all my bags. So here's a couple of my bags. If you guys didn't watch my last vlog, my actual vlog, we have these bags, and these are for my smaller, like my berets and mostly my berets. I don't really know what else I put in here. Oh, maybe bows. And then I have these bags. This one's one of the different designs, but I have these bags for like my bigger clothing items, like my defrosting skelly shrug, and also my lacy shawl. I'm not expecting to sell any of those because those are my higher priced items, but I need to get this done. I need to not procrastinate. I need to work. So we're going to sit here and get stuff done and stop running away from my problems. The regular bags are done. I got a whole stack of them right here. Let me test my counting skills and tell you guys how much of each I've got. So for the plain ones where it's just this, the plain card, and then the plain back, I only have 9 of these. These are for like my bandanas. That's about it. And I don't really sell that many bandanas. Either way, I have 9 of these, and I have 13 of these that I have painted on. I know I got carried away with painting. Oopsie doopsie. So next market, I need to buy some more bags so I can paint on them. They're really fun. Maybe what I do is I do like the majority in these bags because I'm not planning on selling that much stuff. I don't think I will, at least. Most of the times, my thing about going to markets is making table and gas. And then if I make more than that, then hip hip hooray. It's so I don't set my expectations too high. I don't want to set them too high, especially since everything that's going on, every artist alley vendor will say that the economic downturn has been negatively impacting their sales. I'm not a business bro or anything. I just want to get my fashion out there. So getting my table costs, getting my gas costs, getting my name out there is worth a lot to me. Now I got to work on the kitty cat ones. These ones right here. We have 5 of them. I think there's only 4 in this pile. No, there's 5. So I think with these ones, I'm going to switch over to this cardstock just because this one's really pretty. And I think with the bigger items, kind of worth it to get better cardstock. I mean, they both cost the same, but this one's just prettier. So I'm going to work with this one right here. I don't think I told you guys what I wrote on the inside of these little cardstock things. So on the inside of the smaller ones, I put my Instagram and TikTok handle, which is the same. It's the Kawaii Eldritch. And then I wrote, "Thank you for supporting a small artist. I'd love to see how you style your new piece, heart." And then for the bigger ones, I felt guilty if I cut them. So I kept them in whole pieces and I plan on just sticking them in the bag. And I wrote a longer message because it's going to be a bigger piece, a more expensive piece. And it says, "Thank you for supporting my art through this purchase. It's been a dream of mine to share my fashion, and seeing others enjoy my work really means a lot. Please feel free to share how you choose to style this through socials at the Kawaii Eldritch." I will say I only have choose on 2 of them, and then the other 3 I put chose. Please feel free to share how you chose to style this through socials. And honestly, fashion isn't a one-time wear, so I should have done choose the whole entire time, but you know what? It's fine. So now we're going to move on to stamping the front of it with my name. And what I've learned is that you can use acrylic paint. You just have to wash it like with soap and water, which is similar to how you should get paint out of your clothing. You have to do it while it's still wet. I don't know if it has to be wet, but hopefully I don't ruin it. Whew, I'm nervous. All right, so this isn't going to work out. So luckily I have pretty decent handwriting. So I think what I'm going to do is just use a Sharpie and then write on the front. The stamp color I have right now is just like a red stamp. And this is like a fuchsia purpley pink as opposed to like a redder pink. So I just don't think those colors are going to match. I need to wash this real quick before it dries. So the big bags are now done. My handwriting doesn't look that great on these, but it's something. It is what it is. So now we have these little tiny bags. These are my, like, if somebody wants a scrunchie or a candy bracelet and they don't want to wear it, I'll have this. I'm not going to offer it, but if somebody's like, can I have a bag? Then I'll have these ones available. I have 6 of these ones, and then I have 6 of these ones. These ones, I'm not even going to bother tagging. For these ones, like I said, I don't feel like putting my name on it or anything. So I'm just going to tag them with these. I have 6 of these left, so I'm just going to tag them on the pink ones. And then I'll bring these along with me just in case I run out. I doubt it. Like I said, I'm not planning on offering these. These are just emergency backup only. Guys, I've been up for like 12 hours and I'm already sleepy. But we have all of our bags done. So I'm going to put them in this bag so for convenience. On top of that, I have these, and I talked about this in my regular vlog. This is for me to take measurements of people. This is my rough draft right here. Ooh, I have some Post-its I'm going to put in here. But this I'm going to set on the table, and I'm going to do a mock-up of that real quick. Right now, I have the mock-up of the main table set up, so we'll go bring you over that way. But basically, this is to help me survey like people in certain size ranges. So say I have like 4 different medium-sized people take their measurements. On the inside, let me show you what the measurements are. They're basically just torso measurements. These measurements are to help me make the pattern for the Melty Love cardigan. If you don't know what the Melty Love cardigan is, it's hard for me to explain without going in to grab it, but it's basically this huge cardigan, open face cardigan that I worked on for Valentine's Day with slime drips and then like a diamond stitch bottom, kind of replicating an ice cream cone, but also more gurokoi. It was supposed to have eyeballs and I never got around to it. Anywho's, this is to help me take measurements. Like I said, if there's like 4 people who fill this out that are mediums, I'm going to take the average of all of those and make that the medium size range for the Melty Love cardigan. I do have like arm length on here, and that's something that I'm going to have to figure out median overall. I have 8 of these, and like I was saying earlier, I'm going to have like a little notebook thing I'll show you guys later of if more people sign up for it. Because the plan is to have this laying down like next to a basket with these inside and maybe the spiderweb bandana, I don't know. But I'm going to have this with a measuring tape on my side table so people can take their measurements while their friend is shopping and perusing or whatever, so they can get a free glow-in-the-dark spiderweb bandana. It's the Daisy Dagger Co. bandana, and I can show that to you later, but that bandana doesn't move for me. Temu has a knitted version of it, basically for free, for $5 maybe. And even when I tell people that it glows in the dark, people don't want it. It's a surface crochet project. Hate surface crochet as well. It's just something I want to get out of my inventory because I just want to be able to bring more stuff. This is my plan for it, so I'll show you guys that later. Let me get this packed, and then we'll go over to that room so I can show you guys what the table looks like right now, and then how I'm going to change it a little bit at the show, because the plan now is to bring 2 tables because my mother-in-law is coming to help me out. All right, ignore this and basically all of this and kind of these things. So the plan is, oh, and all this, don't look at that. These little sides where I have these dangles, I'm going to open them out because we're going to have another table here, and then we're going to scooch this over so I can open this one out. That way it's not blocking the view, and then we can move this in front of that side when it's opened out. I just feel like this is smushing everything. These are new to the table, and then these ones are new. If you watch that market vlog, hold on, I had to pee. All right, sorry about that. But I feel like this is just blocking this. Oh, these ones are new too. I'll show you guys when I start doing the inventory list. But yeah, this is blocking this. So once this moves out, this is going to be sitting in front. It's not going to be angled anymore. Maybe I'll angle it. Maybe. Oh, also, I need to put more here. But I'll show you guys the full setup tomorrow. I have 4 more berets that go right here. We're going to start breaking this down. At least getting the stuff off of here, because tomorrow my husband and I are planning on carpooling to work. And because we're doing that, I need to be able to make sure I'm not doing any of this tomorrow night, because I'm leaving the house at like 4:30 in the morning to get to my mother-in-law's house so that we can leave at 5 in the morning so that we can make it down to Fort Myers at 7:30 in the morning. Wow, this is coming up so fast. Now we're at the point where we start pricing everything, and I'm not going to bore you with like every single thing that I have. I'll show you guys stuff that I bring when we get to the store or the market. So you'll see it's on the table, and you already saw most of it on the table. But what I do for when I mark everything, when I price everything, I have my old price books and I look at what sold and if I like it being sold at that price or not, or if it sold at that price. And I kind of like compare and contrast. So some of my plain berets are one price, but like the ones with bows have a different price and the ones with just embroidery on it have a different price. I use this and I write it down at the same time so that I can count my inventory. And what I really honestly should do is write it again one more time in my husband's book. He usually writes it as it sells, but I think we're gonna, well, stuff doesn't really sell that quickly for me, so it's not that big of a deal. But my mother-in-law is the one that's helping me this time. And I'm going to have to tell her each and every single one. My husband, like, he kind of remembers and he's like, oh, bat, whatever. And he'll know. Whereas my mother-in-law is a different person, obviously. So we're going to work on this. And then I'll update you guys again once I finish one bag, because I have 2 bags worth of stuff down here. And it's going to be tough because there's just no room in this room. I forgot to tell y'all, but what I use for my price tags are some of my cards, my business cards. I'm not going to lie, I'm not the biggest fan of my current business cards, so I'm trying to use them up. And it's a great opportunity to use these up. On the back, there's nothing on here because I'm poor and I'm starting up. I don't know how much I like the QR codes, so that's why. But I think in the future, I'm going to buy more business cards and I will have a color on the back, and on the back in the middle I'll have like a little blank space so I can write the price physically, and then I'll put like a title up here because that's what I do. I do the title and then I do how much it costs. New in the beret category for this market is the Melty Love beret. So this is a detachable bow with the heart on the front, and I have 3 different colorways of this. We have this toxic one, and then we have the sweetheart one, and then we have this colorway, and I don't know what to call it yet, but one of my coworkers suggested teal and black, and I was like, that's a phenomenal idea. So we have these 3. They're newest. I don't know if I expect these to sell. At least it will be an attention grabber because this is going to be the one that's sitting on my, no, wait. Yeah, well, okay. These 2 are going to be the ones on display. So this one is going on the mannequin, and then this one is going to be sitting, like, kind of, because I have like a little rack thing at the top of my thing. You guys will see it tomorrow, or if not, already had seen it. But this is going to sit visible. This is going to sit visible. It's going to draw some attention, I believe. And I think this is the one I submitted for the photos for when they started advertising the event. We finished labeling and writing down all the berets. I think at the end of this, I'll total up the amount of inventory or the price of the inventory. I don't know. I don't think it's like entirely important, but I know some people like that, so I'm going to try to do that. All right, bandana time. Oh, before I move on to that, by the way, so I don't remember if I said it in this vlog, but I may have. My husband and I were planning on carpooling tomorrow. However, I had to leave really early in the morning, and I'm starting to get really sleepy, and I don't want to push myself because then I'd be miserable at work. So I think the thought process is I'm going to try really, really, really hard not to call out tomorrow because I need the money, and I can't just keep on calling out anytime I'm minorly inconvenienced because I have to call out on Sunday anyways because I can't give away that shift. I'm going to try to leave work early, so I'm going to drive instead of having my husband drive. I'm still going to pack my car, but I'm going to drive to work and ask them to let me leave early because I have to be in Fort Myers tomorrow, 2 days from now. Oh my God, it's creeping up on me, and see how that works out. If not, it's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, I'm still leaving work at 9:30 as opposed to 11:30 if I carpooled. Maybe. I need to get home as early as I can tomorrow. These bandanas, I'm not going to talk too much about everything that I'm selling, but certain things that are changing. These bandanas, so this one I'm just trying to get rid of, so I'm making it the same price as these ones right here that are plain. It's not that I want to get rid of it. It's just I don't think it moves at its current price. Its current price is at $35. 35. So I've changed the price down to 30 because honestly, this part doesn't take that long to work up. It's just simple, like, bandana. It's the lace that's hard, but really that lace isn't the worst. I just struggle to get this yarn back in because this is a Hobie yarn and it's a thinner bamboo. So it's just something that I don't plan on making again for a while. We'll see how it moves this time around. I think it also is tough because it is like, it's black and most people's hair in the alternative scene is dark. So I think if I were to do this again, I'd have to do a different colorway, which I'm not opposed to at all. Also, I don't ever want to do this embroidery again. It just doesn't look weird. It looks weird. It doesn't look right. That's why this is also at 30. And people are probably going to wonder why I did it that way. And it's because I want to get it out of my inventory. But I think that it is something I want to do again in the future. Different colorway though. This one's another bandana that I'm knocking the price down on. I wouldn't say it's pretty popular, but it's definitely sold more than once in different colorways, but I'm still knocking it down to 25. I need to fix this. Hold up. Back to what I was saying. I don't really want to make this style anymore, at least in the bamboo version. This is just not for me. I just don't like how it looks, I guess. This is also True Blue Sparkle. True Blue Sparkle no longer exists. They discontinued it, much to my dismay. Almost every single yarn that I fall in love with gets discontinued. So I need y'all to start loving the same yarns that I do. But that's another reason why I'm knocking this down to 25 as opposed to 30. Yeah, I had it at 30 because it really isn't that much work. And the only work is this, which is a picot kind of shell stitch kind of thing. Not really, but I don't feel like explaining the stitches. So this one's now 25. And then I have these 4 right here. These ones, I don't know how many people actually look at these, but they've been in here forever. I don't mind the bat wings on this one as much. Still a little bit iffy about it, but this is also a yarn that no longer exists. This is Lion Brand Date Night yarn, and I'm so stinking mad about this one because everything was themed on like moon rocks or just rocks in general. And I was just such a fan of it. But of course, I like it, so it's not in stock anymore. So now instead of 25, these are now 20. All right. Oh my gosh, we're almost done with the berets. And then once we're done with the berets, then I'll go back over the table, disassemble the table as is, and then we'll do a mock-up of the side table. For bandanas, we have a new product, and it's going to be these ones. And I've decided to name them Destiny Bond. If you have a better name, please shout it out. I didn't have time to wait for anybody's suggestions, but I'm a big fan of Pokemon, specifically ghost and psychic types. So I just decided to use one of the, I think it was a ghost type move called Destiny Bond. And what happens is the ghost type Pokemon uses this move on its opponent. And when the opponent perishes, oh, I could have called it Perish Song. I'll have to make another one called Perish Song because that's another one of my favorite. Oh, I wouldn't say favorite moves. I never used them. I actually hated it when the opponents used them on me. I just think that like, the background to it is pretty interesting. So anyways, this is the Destiny Bond. We have one in dark gray. We have one in this purplish color. I can't remember what it's called. And then we have one in pink. These are all bamboo yarns. And I think they will be better than the old Batwing one. I use basically that same base pattern for this. Except for I added a little bit of a double picot whatever here. I have the pattern somewhere in my last vlog. I blurted it out, but if it's something that enough people want, then I'll write a written pattern for it. But for now, this is the pattern. This is the new item, and I'm really hoping that this one does well. This one's not really in the bandana category, but I'm kind of putting it under the bandana category because I don't really have a larger category for this. But I have named these ones the Moonjoy headbands. I have one for myself, and then I have 2 of these together. And I have another one that needs to be crocheted up. I already sewed in all the ends, and then I already crocheted this portion of it. I'm sleepy, y'all. I'm probably not going to get to it, but it's in my inventory, and it will probably be with us the next market, whenever that is. But that is it for this bag. I'm going to go into the other room and I'm going to do some more clearing up. That way we can, like I said, do a little bit of more of a mock-up table for the second table. I'm not going to do a mock-up for the clothing because the clothing are clothing. I just need to make sure that I have 5 hangers. So I'll do that after that as well. So break time. I didn't feel like fully setting up this side, or I'll hold this side. So here is like the concept of it. I think I talked about it earlier, how I wanted to pull this out now. Behind there, that gives us a little bit of privacy. Not much, but a little bit of extra privacy back there. And then we have, right here is where going to be the little bows. And then we have this one at an angle to match that angle. And then, of course, this is the front, like the main table. This will probably be coming in a little bit more once, like, I get the table set up. So we'll do some zhuzhing around when we get to that. But I want all the bandanas that I'm not really like that thrilled to have over on this side. We have this collar piece right here. I do plan on bringing it now. I only have one size right now and I'm still like learning and waiting to get some more fabric so I can make more in that size. Sorry, the camera keeps on getting blurry. Stop focusing on my hand. But also right here, we have your take your measurements area, which is a little bit weird to have it next to all the product, but I don't know where else to put it. Also, this tablecloth is not going to be the same. It's going to be this tablecloth right here, which hopefully it doesn't make this look too messy. It probably will, to be honest, because this is a very pretty tablecloth. It is what it is. I do with what I have. These are all like super cheap bed sheets that or they're not even bed sheets. This one is a shower curtain. That one is a tablecloth that I bought that I thought I was going to make a dress out of, and then I changed my mind. So this is the measurements thing. I don't know how much I showed you guys on the inside, but as a refresher, this is just like measurements. So we have the pen and the measuring tape right here. This is a coffin thing. Like it may have been 3D printed. I don't remember, but I was at Goblin Market and somebody traded this to me for something else. I don't remember. Maybe it was candy or maybe a pumpkin crochet thing. I don't remember. But yeah, they can fill this out. And then once they're done filling it out, they can bring it up to the front, give it to me, and then I'll have the spiderweb bandanas on the back so that I can hand it over to them. And then this they can keep as a thank you note, basically telling them what I'm doing. There's 8 of these. So if I have like a lot of people fill them out, which I don't really believe I will, because most people kind of want to get in, get out, I'm going to have these pieces of paper that they can fill out. And then I'll have this cheat sheet right here. And I'll just like set it off to the side so that they can like look at this. And then they can write it down as they go or something. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out if it comes to that. Another new thing for this year, or this market, is this Defrosting Skelly Shrug colorway. So I have 3 of them, one in extra small to small. This one is medium to extra large, and then another one from 2X all the way to 4X. This one specifically is going on discount because I accidentally sewed one of the arms upside down. So one of the seam lines are right here and the other seam line's up here. That's annoying, but it is what it is, you know? Nobody's perfect. If I have time, which at this point I don't think I have any time, I will write like a custom order thing, because at this point I keep on messing up my Defrosting Skelly Shrugs. Last time, I think it was I switched yarns in the middle of it, and it just, like, for me, I noticed it, but other people didn't notice it, and I probably shouldn't have been as hard on myself, but I'm sure they would have noticed it eventually. The feel was a little tiny different, but the color of the black yarns were definitely different to me, and now we got this one that's messed up. That's okay. I have other chances to do markets, so I will do more of these. I think the next one I'm planning on doing is hot pink and black, so that's coming up. But that's it for wearables. Actually, let me throw my collars in here. Well, I mean, that's not important because that's stuff that I've sold before, or tried to at least. If you hear any noise in the background, it's because my husband's on speakerphone. Oh, actually, I could just turn it off. Okay, so last but not least, we've got a couple more new things in like the hair dangle, hair accessory category. So we have the strawberry dangles. So I've mostly done stars, but I really wanted to make strawberries for some reason, and I think this is super cute. I'll probably make more. I'm just not in the mood to do it. And then we've got the heart one, which I'll definitely make more of in the future. I just don't have any more of this yarn, I don't believe. Maybe I do. I just didn't want to make any more because I'm going to be so honest with you. As much as it's fun to have finished projects really quickly and churning them out, I really do enjoy the process of crochet and having something to work on for a couple days, hours. So these ones are going to go in the bag. And then those ones are going to be $12, just like my star dangles, which have been a constant. I may or may not have a glow in the dark one that I might finish up. I already wrote it in my records book that I only have 7 stars I'm bringing, but if I happen to make more during the market or whatever, then I'll just write it in the book or whatever. So with bows, I have 2 new bow styles. So starting off with this one, this is the Melty Love bow. It goes with the beret, and this is just detachable. I wanted to make some that weren't the beret because berets aren't everybody's style. A lot of people are like, oh, it just looks stupid on me. And I'm like, no, you gotta try it. But anyways, this is the Melty Love beret, not beret. This is the bow. I do plan on making the cardigan. I think I've talked so much that I don't remember. I'm so exhausted, y'all. But the cardigan's coming, the pattern's coming, and then eventually I'll get into the shop. So this one goes in the bag. And then last but not least with bows, we've got the Halcyon bow. I just really like space themed things. I know this has like nothing to do with space, but I'm so inspired still by the Artemis 2 mission and space. Like Halcyon is kind of in Greek mythology, but also with birds. And though this is a bat, it has nothing to do with space. I just like the word Halcyon. So now I am done tagging everything. I think there's only like a couple more things. I need to write a tag for the dangles because I don't feel like individually labeling them. And then write a tag for the collar because I don't know where the tag I had for it went. All right, I'm going to take my husband off of mute now. We're on our way, a little bit late, but honestly, what's new here? My car's all packed. I'm on my way to go get to my mother-in-law's so that we can go pack up her car. It's 4:46. I was supposed to leave at 4:30, but setup starts at 7:30. That being said, I have Dramamine. I need to take Dramamine. My setup doesn't take that long, so I'm not too worried about setup. I just have 2 tables and the clothing rack, and I hope I packed everything in the clothing rack. I don't think I did because I really didn't double check. But if anything, I can just figure something out. Anyways, I gotta get going. We're gonna get there. Oh, by the way, I never told y'all. So the amount of money of stuff I'm bringing with me amounts to $2,673, which I know is a low amount compared to a lot of other people. But I am a I wouldn't say I'm a slow crocheter. I'm slow fashion. That's what I do. Slow fashion. No more talking. We gotta go. All right, we're all packed up in my mother-in-law's car now. We're just waiting on her to get her phone. We're on our way. It's 5:18. My fault for getting here later, but honestly, it only took me like 15 minutes to get here, so perfect. Also, the connector. Oh, keep I don't know how much I'm going to be able to record with the mic because the connector is having trouble connecting to this phone. This is an older phone, and you know when it comes to updates, big companies like to update and make your phone, brick your phone basically. So hopefully it won't be that bad. About 2 hours from now we'll be in Fort Myers. Maybe I'll do a montage. Who knows? Montage, road trip. Okay, terrible news. This is broken. I dropped it one too many times, but whatever. I just finished hairspraying. I'm gonna go inside. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It's only like 9:30-ish. We were able to finish setting up, but we're all the way on this side. I think entrance is where I'm at. I'm on the end, so I don't know. Oh, there's a trash can there, but you probably can't see my table from here. But there's like maybe 100 vendors. I don't know. I'm number 126, but this is the hall right now. I might do like a little walkthrough later, but I don't know. We're really close to the bathrooms too, so let me get to my table so I can show you guys what my table looks like. Here is my booth. We've had quite a bit of mishaps. I broke 2 hangers. I forgot this little piece that goes here for that side, so now we've got it all tied down with this haywire. But this is the rest of the table. The rest of the table went pretty smoothly. It's just this, but it's fine. Everything's fine. All right, I'm going on a walk because I might as well. I don't have another hanger to put the other Frosty Skelly shrug on. So I'm gonna walk around, see if there's anything I want to purchase, and I'll let you guys know what I'm purchasing. There's so much AI here. I hate it. By the way, we are at the very end. So the entrance is on the other doors, but we're at the exit near some of the bathrooms. So that's pretty neat, but also a little nerve-wracking. Alright, so right before that announcement started, I had somebody come by and they wanted to come by and grab bandanas to their bandana wear, but they wanted to walk around first and then come back. I let them know that we were doing a survey here, and she filled it out for me, which is very, very nice of her, and we traded Instagrams. I'm gonna follow her back as soon as I can, but I got 1 survey done. Hopefully I'll get more. Yeah, I brought an extra Monster in there as well. Yeah. Oh, it's coffee. It's Java.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe too much coffee. Hi. I think for the last market I did, the really windy one, I had to walk into the mall to use the bathroom, because when I needed to use the bathroom, they were still like setting up the porta potties. So I was like, okay, well. I accidentally sewed the arm on upside down. Oh, no. Yeah, and I'm like, this is what happens when I wait till last minute to do these things. I mess up. So I put it on discount. I'm not going back to fix it. I'm too tired. If anybody wants like a custom order with it that size, this colorway, I'll do it for them. Or if they want me to fix it on the spot, then maybe I'll do it for them. But I discounted it, so then I'll charge for full price. Hi! 1 spiderweb beret. Yippee! Okay, a couple updates. The first sale I made, it didn't go through, but they might come back and it's fine. Like, I learned a lesson. And then I made a few more sales. Somebody finally bought one of my collars, and I told her the story about it and how like nobody buys it because they think it's for dogs. And she's like, no, I love it. And I even told her, I'm like, if you want, if it doesn't fit you, if you wouldn't mind me taking measurements so I can conduct a survey, that's what I'm gonna do. So, lunchtime. We've got, oh, where is it? I'm sleepy. I've done pretty, yeah. I haven't counted it. No, I'm waiting until the very end of the night. I'm sleepy. I ate food and now I'm sleepy, but it's been pretty good. I think, what time is it? 1:53. We still have 5 more hours. 4 more hours. The bat collars, doing really well. I wasn't expecting it to, but I've sold 2 of them. I think moving them onto the bigger mannequin really helped. Do y'all remember that time that like there was a coral reef project but made out of crochet? So somebody that worked on it just stopped by my booth and showed me like a lot of her own work, which was really, really nice. She was super nice and I thought that was so cool. Truffle fry time. It's so slow, but relaxing. Update on the booth since it's been so slow. I'm surprised we sold one of the Moonlight Dreams. I didn't update you guys on everything that I sold because I've been so bored and tired and like, I don't know, it's just quiet in here. But we got a lot of attention on these. Not any sales though. I did raise the prices on these recently, so that might be part of it. But also, we sold out of almost all of our dangles on this side. This side, not as much, but it's kind of far away. But I'm excited at how things went. Like, they weren't perfect, It's quite a drive, but I'll do a recap later. This is the booth though. Alrighty folks, sorry about the audio quality, but you know, I broke my microphone. Let me find it. This is the adapter. It's not supposed to do that, but it is what it is. I dropped it over at Wawa and it just stopped working, so whatever. We're doing this in my sewing room. It's now my bead making room. I should have washed my face before this, but hold up. Let me wash my face because I'm having sensory issues. I did the best I can with a little amount of energy I have. I've been up since 3:30 a.m. and what time is it now? 10:01 p.m. Also, 2 casualties besides the 3 alligators on the side of the road. If you want to ethically source alligator stuff, definitely the road down to Fort Myers from the Central Florida area. Tons of dead gators. It could be because of the drought, actually. So, we need it to rain. We're in the bead room. I'm going to talk about stuff. I did bring the budget, but I'm losing my mind, y'all. But we did bring the budget books in here, so we're going to do that while I'm kind of like finishing up these candies because I'm going to Rockville tomorrow, and I just, for some reason, yesterday, right before work, maybe 30 minutes before I had to leave, I thought about doing this, and then, you know how it goes. Okay, anyways, let's get started. I'm not going to entirely talk about everything I sold. I think I'm going to tell you guys the stuff that did well. And that way it's like less talking for me, because I feel like I did a lot of talking, although I don't know, man. I'll give you my opinions on the market later, but anyways, I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling. Where's my husband when I need him? He does all the math and the book stuff. I think all in all, the best things that sold were the berets. I sold in total 7 berets, and for bandanas, I sold 5 bandanas. I didn't sell any clothing, which honestly, I don't know if it's because I marked the price higher for my defrosting skelly shrug. I did change the price of that because I realized how long it took me, and the sewing, I didn't even count how long it takes me to sew things together. I will say I did sew one of my projects, the extra small to small. I did sew that at the show, but it did take me longer because I kept on like moving around and getting distracted. I did sew the arm on correctly, so that's a huge positive. But I didn't sell anything. I got a lot of lookers, and also my booth neighbor behind me, I gotta follow them. Hold up, let me find their Instagram. I forgot to get their Instagram. They're gonna follow me, I'll follow them back. I think we're gonna end up doing an art trade. She was interested in one of the shawls that I made, and she wanted it in the brown colorway, which I think is a very cute colorway. It's just too hot to be making that stuff right now. But once she follows me, I'm immediately going to follow her. We're going to DM and we're going to talk about an art trade because I'm pretty sure I like her stuff. But I get nervous walking away from my booth, especially since, like, I don't know how to say this without sounding like ungrateful. I love anybody that helps me work with stuff, but like I'm the one that made it, and so I know deeply what every piece means to me in my booth. So I always feel nervous whenever I walk away because I want to make sure everybody knows the story behind it. Maybe it's because I'm neurodiverse, but you know, whatever. So anyways, I'm a little bit sad that none of the clothing sold, but also I came into this knowing that the shawls wouldn't sell because it's way too warm and most people don't really wear shawls. And that yarn is the Karen Perfect Phasing yarn, and that is a polyester yarn, so it's way too hot to be wearing that right now. It's way too hot to be thinking about bringing it or buying it for winter. So I absolutely get it. The defrosting skelly shrugs, like I said, I did raise the price. There was one person that was like, okay, so if you do commissions, can you do it in certain colorways? I'm like, yes, you absolutely can. I think I got an Etsy message and I need to check that. I'm just exhausted, so I'll get to it as soon as I can. A lot of lookers looked at it and they're like, ooh, that's a little much. Absolutely understand. it's too hot for that as well. So I get it. I will be wearing my Defrosting Skelly Shrug tomorrow though, one of them. So we'll really test it out in Daytona. In total, we sold 3 bows. I didn't sell any of my Melty Love bows, which I'm kind of sad about because I was really proud of those. Maybe I'm just weird. I feel like it's more of a summer thing because I equate it with like Goosebumps. There was somebody that was like interested in the purple and lime green colorway because they were all dressed up in Beetlejuice. Yeah, there was one person that was interested in the beret, and I guess I can go back to the berets and tell you that I sold 3 spiderweb berets and I sold all of my mushroom berets, so I guess I had to restock that, and then I think I sold something else, but like I don't feel like going back and counting. So yeah, I thought that the Melty Love line would do really well, especially since that was what I was wearing. I do realize that it was very cold, or I mean very hot. It was so hot outside, but it is what it is. Like, I'll bring it to other shows because I will say this show surprised me with what people purchased as opposed to other shows I've been to. And like, I got questions a lot at the end of the night where vendors came up to me and they were like, so how was your show? I was like, I'm from the Orlando area, so I'm gonna be honest, this is a little bit slower than I was expecting. I'll get back to that, especially since like I'm used to selling a clothing item every time. But to be fair, every time I've sold a clothing item was in fall or winter, so I shouldn't think this way. And I know as a Floridian, my fashion isn't going to do well, so I shouldn't like hold it against myself, but like also I have rejection dysphoria or rejection sensitivity, so I need to get past that. I'll get past it by tomorrow. I'm gonna forget it in like 10 minutes, hopefully. Fingers crossed. My dangles, again, were superstars in this show. A lot of people use them as like mirror hangers, like backing up and all that. Every time somebody picked it up, I'm like, I wear them in my hair, and people are like, oh my god, that's so smart. Like, I never even thought of that. I'm like, yes, please, more people wear accessories in their hair. Like, one girl, she was like, I'm obviously not accessorizing enough. I'm like, girl, that's what fashion is about. You do what you want to do. You start doing whatever makes you feel comfortable. Slowly get into it. Fashion isn't an overnight thing. You do what gets you into fashion. Like, what makes you happy? What brings you joy? At this point, I don't think I'm going to be working on these beads. Like, I'm looking at these, I'm like, I'm talking too much. I'm not going to be working on this while talking to y'all. But yeah, I sold a lot of my dangles. My clips, I sold a couple of star clips. Like, people here really love the star thing. I thought that was starting to like die out. And like, that's the thing. Okay, so I work a job where I can see trends. And I know the bow trend is starting to die out. But also, I'm just now starting to get into bows, so that's on me. Anyway, stars are trending right now, especially with the Artemis 2 mission. And I'm not like the type of person that likes to do trendy things. I just really like stars and I really like hearts. That's kind of been my like aesthetic, I guess, since I was a child. I was one of those kids that had like the glow in the dark stars all over my wall. So if that tells you anything about my style, that was part of it. So anyways, that did well. I surprisingly sold the strawberry dangle. I wasn't expecting to sell it at all because I'm like, this is an oddities market. I'm not going to sell it. But I did. I sold one of my Moonlight Dreams, the little plush, and like, I'm really happy about it. Although I've never made it my intention to sell it. Somebody bought that and then they bought some dangle at the same time. And I'm really happy that they did because like, I don't know. I'm not a plushie maker. I just really like moons and stars and clouds. Sorry, that's one of my favorite aesthetics. Thank you to that person who bought that from me. And then the candies, that one did really well. I will always bring candies from now on. It didn't do well at Goblin Market, and I will say it's probably because the way I had my booth set up, it was like a weird L shape where you had to come in, and then with the wind and my friends holding you down, they probably felt like they couldn't come in. Totally fine. I was just trying to get rid of my dead stock anyways, so I think I did most of that dead stock getting out of my inventory. Yeah, I started off with 20 and I ended up with 9. Phenomenal. Big fan of that. Love making little ghosties. Super easy to do. The ducks, I don't know if I'm going to get back to it just because the ducks are a little bit annoying to me because you have to sew the little bill. I keep on calling it a beak, but it's a bill. You gotta sew that on, but I don't think it's that much of an issue, especially now that I'm really enjoying the process of crochet. Scrunchies I did pretty well this time around, and then the bat wing collars. Oh, speaking of Batwing, okay. So the Batwing colors, I think honestly and truly having it on that bigger mannequin really, really helped. And having the Batwing bandanas in front of that really, really helped. I was able to say like, hey, that one is made out of bamboo. It has cooling texture to it. And a lot of people were like super impressed by that because I mean, we're Floridians. We're going to be hot all year round. If there's anything I can do to help alleviate that, especially in crochet, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm probably going to pick up a lot more bamboo yarn. I love bamboo yarn. Probably get some cotton yarn, although I prefer the texture of bamboo way more. Going back to the bandanas in general, my Destiny Bond bandanas. Did I tell you guys what that was? It's a new bandana, which is like kind of based on the Batwing bandana. I'm probably not going to make that specific style again, but it's based on that base. And then it's going to be like a picot kind of thing. I'm not going to lie. I'm not opening that bag and digging it out, but I just finished them like 2 or 3 days ago. If you want to see what those are like, I have them in my last vlog. It's a long watch. I know my vlogs are super wordy. Like, I don't know. The people that are able to like do separate videos for every single like project they're doing, bless them, because I could never. Anyways, those ones did surprisingly well. I got quite a few lookers. And I think I'm going to start bringing that more. They have little chains on them. And I think that really helped like with the design. I want to get more into like adding metals into my work because that's something I've always been interested in. Talking about the market itself, there was a lot of AI there. And it was kind of disappointing to see it. But I understand that this is the second year that this market existed. I only happened to see that this market was coming up because I was on Instagram for some reason, probably looking for markets, and it popped up and I was like, okay, I guess I'll try it out. I last minute kind of said that I would be part of it. And there was one person at the very end, basically like last 2 hours, that came up to my booth and was like, I didn't even know you were here. I went up and down all the booths and I didn't even see you. And I was like, I also didn't see you. And you look like somebody that would absolutely love my style because they had like brass knuckle things. I'm like, that's a scene kid thing. And then I showed them the little candy bracelets and I'm like, this is from when I was a scene kid. And that was really fun to bond over because like, I don't know, I'm all for the newer scene kid generation and the whole scene core thing. I don't understand. Maybe I'm too old, but like, I think it's just an evolution of scene and we need to stop like labeling everything. Labels are for soup cans. Sorry, that definitely shows my age. It's really cute seeing how like the J fashion side of scene kid fashion is coming back because that's where I got my scene kid fashion. And I think there's a lot of other kids my age, adults, we're all in our 30s. Ugh. But there was a lot of people our age that also got inspiration from from J fashion, like even emo fashion, the aesthetic part of it. True emo isn't the style, it's the music. And I know there's a lot of people that argue about it. The style, a lot of it was like inspired by J fashion. So it's really fun to see how that's melding back together. I think it's a really important part of scene fashion. But anyways, being in the back was a little tough because there were bathrooms on both sides, which benefited me hugely because there was at one point I ran to the bathroom, somebody came up to my booth and I was out as soon as they were ready to purchase and it was like, oh, thank you. There were also quite a few like first time vendors here, which was really cool to see because I think this is one of those like smaller shows that really emphasize and is important for people who are learning what they want to do. One person came up to me and they were like, yeah, so I don't think this is my vibe, but I wanted to try it out, see what it was about. And I'm like, I'm really glad that they tried it because I think everybody deserves the opportunity to try something. It is so hard. And maybe because I'm from the Orlando area, but it's so hard to get into markets and shows and all that jazz because like the entry fee is so expensive, especially when you're a newer upcoming artist and like you've never done markets before. This one was a little bit pricier than other markets I've been to. All in all, I paid at $143.75 and some of that was tips. I think I may have said this earlier in the vlog, maybe not, but some of that tipped money goes to the local arts community, which as somebody who was underprivileged and not allowed to express themselves, I think that's such an important thing to have, and it's good for the community in general. So this one was kind of a pricey one for a one-day market, but it was a long market. Started at 11 a.m., I think. Was it 10:30 or? Yeah, started at 11 a.m. and then ended at 6 p.m. I did end up starting to pack a little bit early because I was just exhausted, and like there weren't really any attendees at the time. I think there were a few attendees and they had come back around, and I don't think they were really interested in my stuff anyways. So that's how slow it got. Like post 4 p.m., there really weren't any attendees there, which is fine. Like it helped me do inventory while I was there, so I don't have to do it tomorrow or any other day. And like I said, there was quite a bit of art that wasn't really like oddities or taxidermy and like I'm one to talk because like most of my stuff is more like kawaii side, like J fashion side, which is hard to like picture in the goth community because most people don't think pastel goths are valid because we don't listen to the music, which is not true because I definitely do. So here's the thing about the goth community too. Right now, there's like an epidemic of a lot of us being like, oh, we can only wear black. And that's not the case. It's never been the case. Goth is not about fashion. Just some of us happen to hyperfixate on fashion, okay? Some of us love color. Let me stop being annoying about that. I think there was a lot of benefits to this market, knowing what this market is like. Like I said, it's like the second time for this one to happen in Fort Myers. There is another one happening on the 29th of August, and I was not going to be able to attend that one, so I opted to go to this Fort Myers one, and it turned out to be worth it because I made $603. Oh, $643. I don't know. My mother-in-law did the math, and I usually leave the math to my husband. He's good with numbers. I'm just good at making things. I'm the creative side. He's the logistics side. So overall, $643, which let me go back to see what my other markets made. I don't know if I counted in any of like the business things. I don't know if I accounted for that in the other previous price things, but this was actually my best show, which is wild to say because the foot traffic was very, very low, and maybe it was because I wasn't crocheting, but I was just too tired to crochet, and I feel so bad because usually I just like, I sit there, I whittle away because I think it's important to show that you're a crochet artist or you actually crochet this stuff. MegaCon, for example, I saw a lot of big vloggers buy crochet from that one flower cart in the very front of the market area, the vendor alley area. That was all Temu. So I think it's very important for us crochet artists to bring some of our stuff with us and crochet, or at least sew up your stuff. I was sewing some of my stuff in the very beginning of the day. Oh, this is turning out really long. I'm so sorry that this wrap up is very long, but I have a lot to say. It was very quiet, and there was like one vendor that had their music going, and I was thinking about bringing my speaker, but I didn't want to be annoying, so that's why I didn't bring it. And plus, like, my mother-in-law isn't in the scene, and I didn't want to annoy her. I'm so grateful that she was there to help me out because I needed the moral support and I needed somebody to drive because I hate driving so much. Overall, the best show I've had. If you're a unique artist, I think you'll do very well at the oddities and art markets because I don't know how to say this without being mean. There were a lot of people that sold stuff that you'll see at any other market, and I believe those people didn't do as well. I really didn't talk to anybody because I'm really shy, actually. I'm really good at masking because I work in retail in the tourism industry. So I'm really, I'd say, decent at masking. Maybe not good at it, but I'm decent at it. My overall thoughts was great show for unique artists who are actually in the alternative scene. Great show for this only being their second time around. They did offer food in the beginning. They had coffee, they had donuts, which was really sweet. I've never seen anybody do that in any of the shows I've been to. It's not a requirement at all by any means. The loading in was super simple. They gave me like directions. They were like, you're over on this side, over here. It was super AC'd in there. I'm so glad I had my cardigan because I knew I was going to be cold. I've been to a lot of markets, and I know as a guest how it feels to be in a cold room like that. So I get it. It was very spacious, this Fort Myers one. So I don't know. I don't think I'll have time to go to the the Orlando one. If I do, then I'll give you my like thoughts in my regular vlog. I need to wrap this up. I'm talking too much. My throat is dry. I need to make these candy bracelets so I can pass them out at Rockville. Oh my god, I forgot to tell y'all. I got plenty of measurements. Sorry, I just stuffed my face with, what's it? The tofu skin. It's so good. Anyways, I got so many measurements. So I'm gonna probably start doing cardigan. I gotta finish my commissioner's work first. She sent me her measurements, so I gotta finish that. But so many measurements. I can start working on the pattern for the Melty Love cardigan that I was wearing today. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that I did that because it's gonna be so helpful. Anyways, for realsies, bye-bye.